You guys, this is another episode of Art and Art Entertainment, and I want to show you guys some comics that I've gathered over the last couple months. I would say some stuff that I had ordered that has just finally come in, and stuff that I just had that I just want to show you guys that I'm interested in. Ongoing series that are really popular amongst other people as well. But here we go. GI Joe. I love GI Joe. I love what Joshua Williamson has been able to do with this, man. I was not a big GI Joe comic book reader when I was a kid. I wasn't big into GI Joe, but right now, in this day and age, I just love what they've been able to do and just reboot this franchise, and it's incredible. And I look forward to um, digging deeper into this, this world and this lore and all the spin-offs that they have. I like Scarlet spin-off. I like Duke spin-off, Cobra, Destro. I got some Destro too. So it's really awesome. This is really awesome. And yeah, and the Transformers, I got a little bit of that too. So it's been, yeah, man, they've been able to kill it. G.I. Joe and Transformers together, you can't lose. For the World Under Doom, I have not read this yet. I have, but interestingly enough, I have issue 1 and issue 4, and this is the variant that I wanted for issue 1 because I just thought it was cool. I don't know, all that green. Green is my favorite color. It's one of them, and I just thought this was really cool. Just like, Doom. So he's like, all powerful. So I thought this artwork really um, captured that. And yeah, man, tell me what you guys think of One World Under Doom. I've been hearing, I ain't really been hearing too much about it. But I know people are consuming it, so I guess that's must be doing good. But yeah, I like that. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. I heard nothing but good things about this. I actually, uh, it was a minute till I got this. So I actually kind of looked at some of the panels that somebody was talking about and how they were explaining how this was a really good series. So I can't wait to start. I have issue, like I said, I have, like I was talking about with One World Under Doom. I have issue 1, and I also have issue 4 of this. Just randomly picked them, because I always feel like the action always picks up like issue 3, 4. So that's why I got it in that order. Just kind of shake it up, you know. I may or may not like it. It's my phone. Sorry about that. And I got some Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing. I just seen this and I was like, man, I just really want to get it because with these two being caretakers of just nature, it feels like this was a match made in heaven. I don't know why I didn't think about it till I seen this. I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know, Protector of the Green, and then you got Poison Ivy, and I heard Poison Ivy got a lot of really good stuff going on. This is issue 1 of Feral Trees. Wilson Perkins Spicer. Really, shit, this is fantastic. The cover art is beautiful. I got it because of the cover art. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I like Swamp Thing and I like Poison Ivy. So it was a no brainer for me. Um, yeah, Dugan, Brown, O O'Halloran, Sabino, and Gray. They did a great job. I've seen some of the panels in here. Absolutely just big set pieces. Incredible. Um, yeah. Oh, I guess I got number 2. Yeah. Thought I had number 4, but I have number 2 of this because I really felt like this is something I could sink my teeth into, and I definitely look forward to reading this because it honestly looks like just look how different issue 2 looks from issue 1. I mean that is incredible. I mean it looks almost like Star Wars type of midwestern spaghetti, kind of horror esque meets guns and old ancient ways. Seems kind of like the Middle East, um, shit, or maybe even you know, maybe parts of Asia. You know, India. I don't know. There's zombies. Got a gunslinger. Old timey guns. I don't know if those are revolvers. Maybe got zombies. Yeah, I like this. I just like how it just seems like this is touched on a lot of genres. But and I heard nothing but good things about that. You got Hush. I got Hush 1, 59, 160. I was really excited about this. I know I did not read the Hush prior to this. I did not read Hush 1. Um, but I've seen enough. I seen a movie. I seen an animated movie it was based off, and that was cool. That was dope. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I've been hearing kind of like mixed reviews about it, but I think that's just they're trying to build a whole new story arc, so it just may take them more time to get settled into the story. So it may be a little slow, and people might feel like it's kind of bad because of that. I don't know. I know a lot of people aren't patient as much nowadays, and they just want action, action, action. So hopefully it's just a slow burn, and that's why it's not grabbing the people instantly. But the Immortal Thor, I thought this was incredible, absolutely incredible. Oh yeah, and I should say, Loeb and Lee, Jim Lee, fantastic. You guys already know. William Sinclair, I've seen some of the artwork in here, absolutely fantastic. You know when you get Jim Lee involved, you know what I'm saying? You already know. I see that. Ewing, I always mess up his name. Basil Duel, and Hollingsworth. Sorry, this is fantastic. I've seen pictures like this before, which is like artsy and all that different perspective. It almost looks like a different realm with all these different staircases. I should say, looks like they're leading to different realms and like an astral plane type of environment. Yeah, that's fantastic. This kind of reminds me of this scene I saw in Berserk, where Griffin was heading down these stairs, and Guts was at the bottom, like ready to attack him. But anyways, it's about Thor. The Ultimate Thor. I have not read up all the way up to 23. You know what I'm saying? But I have read issue 17, I think, where Thor was headed to a gate, and at the gate was this guy, and then behind that gate, behind both of them, on the other side of the gate was Thanos, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, this looks really. I like this. Like, I like how that story ended." So I just been jumping into the Immortal Thor because for some reason it just grabbed me, and it's just these covers, man. They're fantastic. Like, sheesh, look at that. Yeah, see that? My background is shiny, so I'm not doing anything justice. Yeah, you guys see that? Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right. Batman Dark Patterns. Batman Dark Patterns is fantastic. Honestly, it grabbed me more than Absolute Batman. I read the first two. Issues of Ultimate Batman, and it was all right. It was all right. But I would say, and that's cool. I like that people like different type of comics. That's what it's all about. People have different tastes and all that, and I'm glad that a lot of people like Absolute Batman because Batman is my favorite superhero, as well as a lot of other people. But Dark Patterns is the Batman series that has got me going right now. I did not jump in from issue 1. I jumped in at this is issue 6. I haven't read this yet, but I jumped in at issue 4. I want to believe, and he was fighting this man who was mutilated by a very surgical, killer, because the guy had needles all in his body. I think if you guys have seen, even if you haven't read this, you probably have seen the villain for this. He has all these nails that have been surgically implanted within his body, and they have been precisely placed to where he still feels the pain, but his organs aren't being pierced. I know you guys have seen that crazy thing. Go look at Batman Dark Patterns. Check this out. It's fantastic. The characters are layered. I like the art style. The art style is really good. I like the different tones. But yeah, man, this is great. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna eventually get to read the whole thing. Oh yeah, I should say also along with Batman, the series, all the Batmans that have really kind of been, had their hooks on me recently is, I'll probably say Batman Dark Patterns. There was another series called Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. That was a short series. They didn't even really get to finish. They didn't even get to finish it. It was like a 4-part series. It was fantastic. The writer The writer and direct, I mean, the writer and director. I mean, you might as well call him a director, but the writer slash artist did such a fantastic job showing the dark bleakness that Gotham City is when you talk about like the CD underground. I feel like Gargoyle of Gotham, excuse me, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. I feel like that showed so much of the gritty side of Gotham City that a lot of artists talk about but don't really show. And I think it really executed that with the limited amount of issues that it had. And I think even though it's not finished, I think you guys should really check out Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. I think you will really get a kick out of that if you like Batman and Gotham City being taken more seriously, and also Scott Snyder's omnibuses as well. You know, especially the one where he's fighting the Court of Owls. Let me show you guys that. Let me show you. Haven't been reading this as of yet because it's, I got a lot of stuff I'm doing, but it's fantastic. I love this. I got this just for the Court of Owls, so yeah. It's been a while since I really cracked that one open. We have Batman Dark Patterns and Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. Absolutely phenomenal Batman stories. But like I said, I'm glad there's a lot of hype around Absolute Batman. I'm just happy that people like that, and it's one of those anchors that are saving comics right now, along with Ultimate Spider-Man. Which I also got. Issue 16, man. I would probably say for me, this is the best Spider-Man series ever to me. I know a lot of people have really dived into his comics for years and years. I haven't. I read a little bit of here, there, mostly just like spin-offs. I mean, mostly just like little short mini-series, nothing that's in the main, the main timeline or main canon, But, yeah, I like it's funny, I like Zeb Wells stuff. I know a lot that's like, how could you like Zeb Wells stuff? It's, blah, 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 blah. I don't like it. And, there's a lot of people that say they don't like the Zeb Wells run. I like bits and pieces of it. I like the action, I like John Romita Jr.'s art too. That's another thing. People don't like Zeb Wells Spider-Man writing, and they don't like John Romita Jr.'s Spider-Man drawing. But I'm cool with both of them. I like it. I like John Romita Jr.'s style, actually. I know a lot of people, I think it's just a lot of bandwagoning with that, but I like his stuff. But anyways, Jonathan Hickman, Chichito, and Wilson, you guys have done your damn thing this whole Ultimate Spider-Man run thus far. I think there's 19 issues as of today. I see Mysterio. Mysterio is definitely one of my favorite characters growing up. Just his whole style and appearance, and the fact that he can make illusions happen. And I was just watching Spider-Man with my son, the OG one, like the mid-90s one, you know what I mean? The mid-90s one, and just so happens that they had the episode Mysterio was on it, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I got that issue 16 coming to me. I got all these comics thus far from, besides my Batman, I got these from Third Eye Comics in Annapolis. Yeah, so, I had to get this. And thus far I have issues 1 through 12. That's, that's the in order comics that I have as far as this, and then I jumped to 16 because I'd seen this. I was like, I gotta get this. But I do look forward to at some point reading that whole thing. It's worth looking into. It's worth reading. I think it's the best Spider-Man series so far. The fact that not only does Spider-Man not get his butt kicked all the time, and he's just like this, glutton for punishment, always down and out. He actually has a happy beginning to start with, because he is not, I feel like you guys noticed, but in the Ultimate Spider-Man, he is not bad. I mean, he has not been Batman. No, he has not been Spider-Man his whole teenage years and adult years, and most of his teenage years and all of his adult years thus far. He's not that. He becomes Spider-Man later in life. He has a wife and kids. He's married to Mary Jane. He has 2 kids with her, which is awesome. And it's a long story, but a villain that travels to canon events, he stopped Peter Parker from getting bit by the radioactive spider. And so, all these events happen, and then eventually he becomes uh, Spider-Man later through the help of Tony Stark. And then we also have Medieval Spawn. Medieval Spawn, I have not jumped into, but I just like what Todd McFarlane has been doing with a lot of his stuff. How he's been able to give his creators under his umbrella all this freedom to really like stretch their wings and expand this, this Spawn universe with all these different variants. I would probably say my favorite branch off. Uh, my favorite branch off Spawn would have to be Gunslinger Spawn for sure. Um, you know, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know, I got some of that. I got Gunslinger Spawn too. I just thought his character. I got so much of material on Gunslinger Spawn. It just his overall. I knew he was gonna be like an OG type character from the Wild West. Excuse me. It's just fantastic. I was like, wow, they're really stretching their wings with that. And Medieval Spawn is no different. He's a character that I really wanted to jump into. I like the medieval type, sorcery, monster demons, demon hunters, demon slayers, all that type of enchantress, and makes me think of Diablo, which is, these could seem like it'd be in the same wheelhouse. But yeah, man, absolutely. You guys check out Medieval Spawn. And I would say that because a lot of Todd McFarlane stuff is not as expensive as all the other comics are. Now, I don't know if that's because he's just a boss like that or whatever. That's just his price point that he chooses to execute at, and maybe try to be competitive against the market. But regardless, this is Spawn. If someone was down and was trying to get some comics and didn't have a lot of money to get in comics or read comics, but just wanted to buy some, I would say go Spawn, man. Cause some of the Spawn's comics, like when you're in a comic book, they could be like $2, $3. I think this is the highest it goes, $3.99. But yeah, shout out to them, the artists, and I just love this stuff. I absolutely love this stuff. But I'm gonna come back to some Spawn's art as well. One World Under Doom, like I said, I had issue 1 and I jumped to issue 4 because I tend to think that the issue. I tend to think that the action in the issues really ramps up around issue 3 or 4, so, and I wanted to peek ahead, sometimes I don't really care about what's going on issue for issue. I just know that One World Under Doom, is it's like final as that sounds, like, people are beefing with him. People are beefing with him, and so I figured, okay, by issue 4, it's going to be a conflict. People are really going to be taking it to Doctor Doom, and so that's why I didn't jump in there and just after I got issue 1, got issue 2. I was like, nope, I'm speeding ahead because I know he's basically like fighting everyone, at some point. Werewolf by Night, I really like Werewolf by Night as far as the character. I like the concept of Marvel Red Band because it's showing more of the gruesome, bloody. It's showing more of the action. Not so much. I don't think they cuss really, but it's a lot of visceral action that they show, and very horror heavy, obviously. And I like that. I like the whole, appropriate audiences by Marvel, comics, explicit content. Reader's discretion advised. Reader discretion is advised. What it says, warning, this comic book is only approved for appropriate audiences. Yeah, they got that right there. Werewolf by Night. But as far as jumping into this, I wasn't completely satisfied. Though. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was a little let down. I figured with the look of the werewolf and the look of Jack's werewolf, and also the level of violence. It wasn't like I thought. I mean, not the level of violence, but the style of violence. I figured since they had a little more liberty to show like blood and what I'm saying, things like that, they would really go in, and they didn't. At least in the issue that I read prior, and I think that was issue 7, or it was one of the earlier issues. But hopefully, this is issue 8, so hopefully he's fighting someone and. He can really get down because I have Blade. of the red bands, and the Blade red band is phenomenal. Like they really took advantage of the fact that they had that red band red band um, label, and Spawn is going to town on those vampires. I mean, you seen? I don't know if you guys seen the red band for Spawn, but I think issue 1 he was like he split a vampire like right down the middle. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get that. Anyways, Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone. I have not read this thus far up to 12, but I got this because I heard nothing but good things from Gail Simone doing X-Men. People are saying like she's like born. She was born to make content for X-Men, and so that's fantastic. But I got this honestly because I seen Gambit on the cover, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really see too many X-Men covers with Gambit on there. I remember not recently, I want to say 3 years ago, I got a story of, I think it was an old story. It's repackaged from Chris Claremont, the GOAT of the X-Men shit, and it was a story that they redistributed, and it was about Gambit in Aurora, aka, it was about Aurora, meaning I should say aka, but Aurora, I feel like Aurora is like, anyways, I'm talking about Storm. Anyway, but Storm, she gets, maybe I want to say it's through magic. She becomes a kid again. And then she has to navigate through that because of the spell. But she's in Louisiana, but she needs protection. And then she runs into Remy LeBeau, and he's looking out for her, So until she can like reverse the spell, I believe it was a much older comic. I don't know, but it was pretty dope. And I enjoyed that, and hopefully I enjoyed this. And like I said, I heard nothing but good things from Gail Simone's run on the Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, and I think they're like, this is issue 12. They're like 20, I think they're like 20 issues in of that. So they're killing it. Mark Spears, I had to get these. Third Eye Comic only had issues 1, 4, and 5, and I got all 3 of them because I just thought it was just excellent. Mark Spears came on the scene, and it seemed like his art was just like, wow, it's like a freaking avalanche, and it's just incredible how much his art looks like a movie. Like, yeah, he's writing it, I believe, and he's drawing it. So that's Mark Spears' art. And this is where I want to go back to Spawn, because I didn't realize didn't know this guy, Mark Spears. I mean, honestly, I seen my first introduction to him was looking at a bunch of Spawn covers that I had bought because of the Spawn covers, and I was just like, man, it just looks the style of it just looks so distinct from anything else. It looks so real. I mean, as real as Spawn could look, and I was just like, wow, absolutely fantastic. I wish the panels were like this. And then coming to find out, this guy Mark Spears, all those comics, all those Spawn comic book covers from King Spawn, all the ones I bought were his covers. Because I'm looking at I was looking at his style. I was like, yeah, his style is so distinct from anything else I've seen. And Dracula is fantastic in here. This guy, I forgot what his name was. He's dope. He's like a monster hunter. Obviously, you got to see the stake that's strapped to his, it's the stake weapon that's strapped to his chest while werewolves about to jump on him. Like, he means business. He ain't playing around. He ain't playing around with werewolves. He ain't playing around with Dracula. He's here for it all. They have Van Helsing in this. I love the whole concept of the monster universe. You guys know, if you have seen my page, I am big into horror, and this is right up my alley. Absolutely incredible. I look forward to, finding out more of Mark Spears' material wherever I can, and I just hope he keeps it going. He's a true testament to just like going hard at what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do something in life and it's your passion and it moves you, go for it. Even if it's not what you want, even if you don't end up doing that in life, orbit whatever it is that dream is. Just work on that dream, and you will be close to it. And I think that's just as good, honestly. But yeah, Mark Spears, he's 50. He's 50, and he was trying to break through comics for a while. And I think one of his biggest breaks was working with Todd McFarlane on those covers. And then, I wouldn't say it was his big break, but it was definitely a big opportunity. Um, this is definitely, his pride and joy because these things have been selling like hotcakes. I'm surprised I got 1, 4, and 5 at the comic book shop, and I was like, damn, I hope they get the other issues, because I would definitely like to get on there. People are on eBay selling some of these things for like, depending on the cover variant, they're selling these things for like hundreds. So yeah, and I also I want to show you guys a little bit more, and then I'll be done. I have what's the furthest place from here? I didn't know what this was about, but I just seen this dilapidated building. And I was like, okay, this must be really good, just because it's like, there's a lot of mystique there. There's a lot of mystique there. So I'm thinking all these things in my head, like, okay, Image is killing it. Um, but this right here, I mean, could it be like there's something in this dilapidated building? There's like maybe a pathway to like a different realm, or like what is it? And it just seemed like it was such an odd way. It was such an odd cover, but it like captured me for some reason. Like, what is that? Like I'm intrigued. I want to see what it's about. Is it monsters in there, or is it, you know, and that made me, for some reason, I don't expect you to understand why I felt this way about this cover, but I just seen it and I was like, I feel like there's a good story in here just because of the confidence they had to make this the cover. And it's not a bad cover. It's just like, wow, it's just like mysterious. Like, what's going on? Like, is there something behind that building? Is it, is it in the building, underneath it? So yeah, and the moon is following us. I got this cover. I have not jumped into the series, but I've heard nothing but great things about this comic book. Nothing but great things. I want to show you guys this also, by the way. Those are the artists for this. Boss and Rosenberg with Otsbane Alaho. Hopefully I said his name right. I'm sorry if I didn't, but this is book 1. But also, The Moon is Following Us is something that I wanted to dive into, at my own pace, in my own way. And I've been hearing nothing but great things about this. Nothing but great things. And Daniel Warren Johnson is one of those creators in comics that have really made me really just fall back in love with American comics. I know everyone's big on manga. I'm big on manga too. I'm writing a comic, and that's what he definitely just. I was like, wow, like he's really showing what can be done with comics, man. He had this run with Wonder Woman that he had was absolutely fantastic, and also uh, the absolute Wonder Woman is phenomenal. I would say I like that more than Absolute Batman and Superman, but that one, the Absolute Wonder Woman has been fire. Absolutely fire. But yeah, The Moon is Following Us. I think they ended in, it's a 10-part series. So yeah, not too much, and it's not too expensive. This one was 4. Um, but yeah, man, his art is, just look at that, man. His art is absolutely fantastic. I look forward to this. It's about, from my knowledge, a girl is in deep sleep, and then her parents somehow are able to travel into her mind, into her dreams, and with the intent to protect her. And I think they have to fight her nightmares and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting premise, man. Kind of just thinking about that reminds me of like if the Neverending Story had kind of like a really evil spin to it or something, But The Moon is Following Us. I am 5 issues behind. The finale is, I think the finale is out, or is going to be out. I think next month maybe, but yeah. The Moon is Following Us. I heard nothing but good things. Everyone did they damn thing. Riley Rosmo, Mike Spicer. I've been seeing a lot of the panels throughout all the various issues, and it's just looked breathtaking. Um, I just really love Daniel Warren Johnson's artwork, man. I think it's phenomenal. Yeah. And then what else do I have? I have, and these are oldies. All those are new, relatively new. And this is an oldie, and I got it because it's in color, and it's another image. It's another image I got. I got The Walking Dead in color, You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead in color, man. Like, come on, man. Walking Dead in color. I had to do it, man. I had to do it. And these weren't that expensive. The $4 each. Well, no. 101 was $4, and 100 was $5. But I mean, there's a lot. There's some weight to these. You know, I like that. And you know, like I said, it's a color. I was sold I was sold when I heard they were going to be in color, and it's deluxe. You know what I'm saying? You see that. You know, yeah, I'm more inclined to buy it when it says deluxe. And then you got, you know, terrific scene. You got Glenn getting his head mushed, pushed, mushed, or smushed. It's crazy, but yeah, and those are the comics that I've got, and you know, I'll tell you guys what I think about them if you know want to know. But let me know if you guys have any interest in any of those books. Are you reading any of those series? If not, are you reading any other series? Just let me know. There's a lot of other comics that I haven't mentioned. One of them that I think is really cool. It's really, I would say, fairy tale heavy, like kind of whimsical, adventurous, dark, spooky. I would say if you guys haven't heard of it, check out Green Lantern. Green Lantern Dark. Yeah, Green Lantern Dark is fantastic. And also, Absolute uh, Martian. Is it Absolute Martian Manhunter or Absolute Martian? That's a fantastic series as well. Um, but yeah, all right. I'll let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled programs. And thanks for chilling with Art and Our Entertainment. I'll see you guys next video. Ciao. Peace.